Hey guys, welcome back to the Hear Me Roar pod. I am Tobi and my co-host is none other than the Kate Save, which you might know her from Shark Tank. She's also founder of BeFit Foods and picked up Telstra's Business of the Year award too. Kate?
Well, Tobi, you've got a super impressive CV, 25 years in global commercialisation experience, and you founded Creative Cubes, Australia's leading co-working space and real estate business.
All right, let's get on with the pod.
Hey, Tobi.
Hey Kate, how are you?
Good. Have you been for your run this morning?
I didn't go for my run this morning. I did, however, walk the dogs. It's Tuesday morning and I was a little unsure. Normally our next guest that's coming on, Adam Morse from Quarter 5. Adam actually has a little running group.
Oh, yeah?
We started at East Melbourne, 6:30 in the morning.
Oof.
Run around the MCG that is, for those out of town, through the Tan, down the Yarra, through the city, and then back up past South Bank, back to Creative Cubes, East Melbourne.
Yeah.
And
cool.
so I didn't run this morning because our guest Adam actually has pulled a calf. And he wasn't showing up. So I instead woke Sim up and said, let's go walk the dogs.
So
that was great. I still got my exercise in. I ice bathed and saunaed last night at Calm Springs. So I woke up like fully recovered.
Oh, it's the best,
but unfortunately, Adam had a bad calf. But let me tell you something.
What?
I'll tell you a quick story just before he comes on because I don't want to embarrass him when he's actually on the show. Started running with Adam and he's an amazing runner, like elite.
He's got long legs. I feel like there'll be a lot of steps to his one step.
He is an elite runner. So we took off. I fancy myself as a runner as well, by the way. I'm sort of like low fours.
Yeah.
And I'm probably like a maximum 10K-er.
Yeah, in low fours for 10. Yeah, wow.
But Adam, he does 100-kilometer runs.
Phew.
Yeah. I don't remember, we'll ask him when he comes on, but Brad Harris told me that he ran, I think it was Buller. We'll get the qualification when he comes on. He went up and down Buller twice.
Gosh.
But we were running out and I'm like, I got this. I can run.
Yeah.
Brad was telling me about the myth of Adam Morse. And I'm running out with him like, yeah, this is easy. I got this. And we just passed the MCG and Adam's watch goes 10 kilometers. And I go, mate, I think your watch is a dud. We've only done one. And he's like, oh, no, this is my second lap.
Yeah.
I just came back to sort of catch up with you and sort of do a slow jog. I was like, oh, God damn it.
Do you know, I do that with my girlfriends that want to walk in the mornings because they can only do 6 a.m. So I'll go and do my lap of it running first and then do the walk with them. So I'll get the coffee. So by the time they get there at 6 a.m., I've had my run, got the coffee, ready for a walk. But
it was quite deflating. I thought I had him. He'd done 11 Ks. I'd done one.
It's amazing.
But he's amazing. He started a new business, not new, but he started a business called Quarter 5. He used to be at a business called Blue Rock.
Yes.
With Bruce McFarlane, who I think features later on this month on the pod. So it'd be great to have him on the segment or have him on the show and learn more about how he's transitioned, actually check on in how his calf is. But first, we're going to hear from Rise at a quick break.
Guys, I want to introduce you to Rise, a business cohort like no other. So what is the Rise Network? Rise Network is a curated inner circle of 10 to 12 like-minded peers designed to provide a confidential, high-trust environment where business owners and leaders can gain strategic insights, actionable solutions, and lasting relationships. Rise isn't just networking, it's a game-changing business support system. It has strategic problem solving built in, expert facilitation, actionable insights, long-term impact and authentic relationships, and it's based exclusively around high-trust cohorts. For your membership, you gain full access to Creative Cubes. That means you can drop in when you're on the run to use the meeting rooms, breakout spaces, or even just dock in for the day. We wanted to serve the underserved, the people that do need the help, do need the support, don't necessarily have the funds to be able to do it, and don't necessarily fit into one of these other organizations. And so that's where Rise kind of came from. So there you have it, guys. Go to werise.au, and I hope to see you at one of our cohorts soon.
Adam, welcome to the show, buddy.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's good to have you here.
Hey.
So you guys go way back. I thought you were my guest, but I think you're Kate's guest, but I'm not.
No,
I'm just glad you're here.
same.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You guys are EO buddies?
Yes.
Yeah.
All connected though. All entrepreneurs are connected in some way, I think.
My mum always said you got to be careful where you shit, because it'll come back to you. So she's like, if you're good, it'll come back to you 10x, and if you're bad, it'll come back to you 10x.
So true.
So I've tried to stay on the side of good.
Yeah, I kind of don't get that, how people really cut ties forever in this industry, because at some point you're going to cross paths again. It's
So I was just telling Kate before you came on that I didn't come running this morning because you had a bung calf. How's things going?
Slow, unfortunately.
Yeah, you were training for Gold Coast Marathon?
Yeah, and like my homework back in the early primary school days when it was, and high school days when it was, sort of get it all done just before the finish line and come home with flying colours. I tried to do that for the Mara, and I'm getting older now, so the old man calf injury has struck.
So you're an amazing runner, and I've had the pleasure of running with you a few times with the crew out of East Melbourne. If anyone wants to join us, maybe not next week, but the week after, this pod will probably air in like 4 or 5 weeks anyway, but the week after, 6:30, 88 Jolimont Street on a Tuesday morning. You'll find a small crew in the freezing cold ready to go.
It's getting bigger.
How mean? I stayed in the city last night. Could have been there this morning.
I'm going to hold you to that.
Yeah,
I'm going to hold you to that.
Love to have you.
Yeah.
So some people know that...
mid fours for me, please.
No, that's all right.
Not early fours.
No, that's all right.
Yeah.
That's totally fine.
Great.
Yeah. No, I'm there. I'm actually... It's like food for me, Kate. I'm just happy to go to a restaurant, like to go to the restaurant. I'm just happy to be in the company of people. And with running, unfortunately, I have to drag Adam a bit back because he's that much more progressed than me. But I enjoy the camaraderie on the run and the chats and the, competition and stuff.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But Adam, people know 88 Jolimont Street in either two different ways. They know it as Creative Cubes East Melbourne, but they also know it as the Harris family office. It was recently written up in the AFR, had called out a bunch of businesses. I think Q5, quarter 5 was called out, Cubes was called out, and a few others. You've transitioned from days from financial planning into wealth management. Do you want to share with I know what you do, but do you want to share with the audience a little bit more about Q5 yourself and where you're going? Yeah,
just before we sort of jump onto that, I've been very fortunate to have sort of seen the rise of Gate 8 from a concept, when Brad stepped into the family office back in sort of 2017, and one of the first things he said was we need a physical space and we need an office for the family office, and he sort of found that site and envisaged it all, and brought along the architects and all of the rest of it, and saw it come out of the ground, and now we find ourselves there, which is pretty amazing. But before we moved in there, and as sort of part of the journey, I was at Blue Rock, and there was certainly a bit of FOMO, sort of knowing what Gate 8 was going to represent in the market. And I'm also a believer in the moons aligning, and so about a year ago we found ourselves transitioning into the office, so it's pretty cool to be there. Yeah, amazing. Yeah. Do you want to share with our audience like a little bit about quarter 5? Yeah, so I guess just taking a bit of a step back as a context sort of helps frame where we are now and ultimately what we're trying to achieve and what our vision is for our business. But sort of I joined the financial planning industry in 2005. I was fortunate to have had an elder sister who was dating a guy who was studying financial planning. So at the ripe old age of 16, I heard about the concept of financial planning and helping people. I've always been I've got that part of my mum who's very caring, and I like helping people. And I like problem solving. I was always good with maths. So the concept of sort of bringing those two things together, and also being, good with money, something that we didn't grow up with a lot of money. So the concept of bringing those things together and then being able to help myself and clients and family and friends was really the driving why behind it all. Mm-hmm. But sort of when I joined the industry in 2005, so 20 odd years ago now, I was super excited to be, donning the suit and traveling to St Kilda Road, but it was a little bit underwhelming. And obviously, the industry's gone through a lot of transition over that period of time. We've had a Royal Commission in the middle of it all, but I still was hoping for more. And I was fortunate to work within a great business, but the industry was going through a lot of change. So I spent sort of 9 or 10 years in that business, and it was great to work with a couple of really strategic thinkers within that business. And we, off the back of the GFC, we really started to reimagine what we felt wealth should represent. And we coined the term the family financial director. And that was really around understanding what was important about wealth and money to an individual and a family, but then coupling that with advice around all aspects of what was happening in that family's world, and sitting alongside the family and helping them navigate all those different. It's complex. It's not just about investments and life insurance. There's property, and there's debt, and there's cash flow, and there's business and structures and succession planning and all of those different things. So that was an exciting time to be sort of reimagining what we felt wealth should be. And that business was a pretty traditional financial planning business, in that we sort of looked after relatively simple clients back at that point in time. And then I started working with Blue Rock as a referral partner in about 2010, 2011. And Blue Rock was the sort of first accounting firm that I got really excited about, because it was a lot more around the forward-looking strategy for the business owners rather than just the backward-looking tax compliance, which I think we all know that stuff's going to continue to become commoditized and automated. So you sort of couple that forward-looking strategic financial planning lens and the business owner strategic lens, and that's really what got me excited about setting up Blue Rock Private Wealth in 2014. And when I joined Blue Rock, it was a team of about 30. We sort of grew that organically to about 150, and it was an amazing journey that period of time, particularly in those earlier days of sort of growing organically and very entrepreneurially. And I've always had a thirst for, it's a long-winded way of answering the question, but it kind of helps set the scene, but I've always had a thirst for evolution and innovation. And when you're a wealth advisor, there's this mystical world of family office, and what do the ultra high net worth families do, and who advises them, and how do they make money, how do they make decisions? And as I said before, I'm a believer in the moons aligning, and I had some opportunities to sort of grow up with families that we've been working with that were becoming very successful themselves, and also and Brad as well. When Brad stepped in to set up Harris Capital, I was fortunate to have the opportunity to work alongside him to help on that journey, and I've been doing that for about 8 years now. Yeah. And really what I discovered as we moved more and more into that space was that there was this great opportunity to couple strategic, holistic, sophisticated financial planning with the sophisticated investment piece. And that part of the industry is really dominated by the investment advisors, the guys who and investment banks around the world, the guys and girls who are looking to really be focused on investing a family's capital, which is a critically important part of what families need. But because we looked at it through this holistic financial planning lens, along with the investment piece, it allowed us to really think about, well, these families who are often looking for something more than just the investment piece, there's a lot that goes on in their world. What's their vision for their wealth, and what's their structure and succession planning, and how do they think about cash flow and their banking and property and all these things that everybody, like we all have to deal with it. It's just the numbers are bigger and the sophistication's a bit deeper.
Yeah, and then also, like Brad's elite, but the succession plan generationally is very important as well, right? Absolutely. You've got someone, a family member that has made a lot of money, and then they're passing that through. Their offspring have to come up to speed with, so it doesn't become, a loss. Yeah. They've got to protect what is built, or even grow what was passed through to them. So I can imagine that. I mean, I was at one of your succession planning events a couple of weeks back at Jolimont House, and that was quite eye-opening. I flicked it onto my mum very quickly. Not that we've got billions of dollars to share, but just making her think about this for, I think for a lot of people, they just leave money in the will and away they go. But like how to just divide it by 3 and send, or like how does that all happen for people?
Yeah, it's a topic that I'm super passionate about.
Yeah.
There was an article in the AFR sometime in the last 12 months where there was an interview of ultra high net worth family groups, and of the respondents, only 40% of those families actually had a written succession plan in place.
Yep.
Which is a pretty low number when you consider the amount of wealth and also the vision that sits behind that wealth.
Totally.
Because ultimately the succession plan is about enacting that vision for the family. And in its simplest terms, when you think about the transition of wealth from one generation to the next, often it is what you described. It is, we look after our surviving life partner, and then ultimately it typically goes down to the kids.
Yep.
But with like ultra high net worth family succession, it often differs because we've got this concept of sort of independence and distributing out the wealth and sort of letting the next generation be in control of that. And at the other end of the spectrum, you've got you keep the wealth together, and you actually consider that wealth not necessarily as the first generation or the second generation owning a certain percentage of that wealth, but that wealth actually being there for the benefit of the family in an intergenerational manner. And essentially a family office is the business of overseeing that wealth on behalf of future generations. And you become less so the owners of that wealth and more so the custodians of that wealth.
Yeah. None of this happens for me, by the way, but like part of the vision that I want to create is, I've got a very clear vision for my daughter, one of my daughters, Maddie. I know what she's going to do. It's clear as day. Yeah. We just got to make sure that we get her there in a safe and happy way. Yeah. She's into music and theatre and art and dancing, and she's amazing. Like we were at Graceland over the bridge here the last 2 Saturday nights ago, and one of her singing teachers was on the stage. And she called her up, and I'm like, are you nervous? No. Why? I do this all the time. Mm-hmm. So I know what Maddie's going to do. Harper, I have no idea. And so I don't know if it was this morning's walk or last night's conversation with Sim, but I want to be in a position whereby they can do whatever they want, and they'll never go without, because I'm going to hopefully have a level of success that I can plug into Adam and quarter 5 and say, just make sure that they've got enough to get by every single week. Mm-hmm.
There's a balance there though, right? Isn't it?
Yeah.
Isn't there? Because, you often hear that, one of the concerns that a successful mum and dad have is around there being too much wealth.
Sure.
And, therefore there not being that requirement to get out there and live the entrepreneurial journey or learn.
Too much wealth can stifle opportunity, right?
Themselves as well. So it's a balance.
I'm sure you hear this all the time, but it was the first time I heard it. Someone said they're leaving the money that they've got from a large exit for their children. The way it'll work, because one of their kids wants to be, perhaps it's a teacher and something else, so not high paying jobs, but for every dollar they earn, they will match it with $2. And that's how the wealth will be distributed. And it's more about the legacy that they want to leave as well. So their kids may not use a majority of this money. It's up to them. So if you stay in a medium level teacher's job, there's no way they're ever going to get through the money, and that money has a bigger purpose and legacy for it. But if those kids pick it up and run with it and find ways of growing it, then it'll be matched twice for every dollar they earn.
What do you think about that as a strategy, Adam?
Well, I think that there's so many different ways of approaching it, and ultimately you need to find what works for the family, and that's why the sort of the front end of actually working that out is so important. Like, what's the purpose of the wealth and what's the family's vision? And lots of different case studies can help, because that particular example, like, I love the sound of that. Another family might hear that and say, that's not for us, and that's okay. But another example may be as well. But I love the word legacy, and I mean, ultimately that's what quarter 5, that's where our name really comes from. It's sort of representing the 5th quarter is legacy. And our definition of success is when we help a family essentially on the journey of creating that legacy that has real purpose and meaning for them.
And it's how you said as well that wealth is not necessarily passed down. They're custodians for that, because anybody who's got enough money knows that money isn't the source of happiness, that you only want to make sure people have enough money to stay happy. Everything else it could cause laziness, it can cause habits that no motivation if you're only working for money.
Yeah, Yeah, and which is when you mentioned succession planning before, it's there's unplanned succession, and then there's planned succession. And when you unplanned succession is when something unexpected happens, and you say, right, what are all the documents and the strategies and the structures that we've got in place to help carry the family forward in the way that the family wants that to happen. And then the planned succession is, the great examples of the passing of the baton, and it's that education, it's the communication, it's involving, engaging the family, because too often, you see examples where everything's kind of held onto really tightly, and then the next generation are kind of are in the dark, and as a result, by the time it actually then lands in their lap, it's this big thing that they don't really understand. And that was what that session that we ran for Gen 2, it was around the dragon of wealth, and it was how do you effectively bring Gen 2 along for the journey, so by the time that they're ready to take over, they've actually been doing that over quite a long period of time.
So Maddie's 13. By the way, I've got nothing to give him yet. But Maddie's 13, Harper's 10. How, what age should I start bringing them on the journey? Again, I've got nothing to give them right now, but love.
Yeah, but you've got your situation. So you've got the decisions that you make, and how you run cash flow as a family, and the concept of budgeting, and your own home and your mortgage, and thinking about superannuation and all those things. It's just opening up the conversation early and sparking some interest in these things. Because
I have heard, I love basketball, but I've heard people like Chris Bosh, who played in the NBA for many, many seasons, said, I've got tons of money, but I have no idea what I'm doing. I have no idea. It's sort of like me with food. Yeah. I'm hungry, so I'll go eat. Okay, but how many calories? What are you eating? What's the proteins? What's this? No idea. I just want to eat, right? Yeah. And so optimizing that, or with knowledge, or gaining knowledge to optimize that, I think is really important. I have a Tobi tax at home. You'd be proud of this, maybe not. But my kids have ice cream. They have to give me 30%.
I like Tobi tax.
Yeah, Tobi tax. Or daddy. I just got to go to the girls, you got to pay your taxes. Yeah. Okay, and they come over with their Magnum ice cream, and I take 30% off the top. But they understand, oddly and weirdly, maybe creatively, that 30% of that ice cream doesn't belong to them.
Yeah. What about GST? Is there GST?
Yeah. Plus GST.
Yeah. Well, not if it was a healthy one. We might get away with that. Yeah.
Exempt. Yeah. They're not registered for GST, Adam. But they understand they've actually had that class. They've had that in those classes in school, and so it's carried on. So I feel like I'm at a healthy level with them. And we talk about not being able to do everything. I want to do singing and dancing. Great. Pick one. Can't do both. Budget doesn't allow for both. Oh, but hey, I want to do both as well for you. I want to, but one of them, just pick one. And so they're understanding how to, okay. And then we're trying to plan a end of year holiday, which is going south at the moment, not geographically. It's just we've got too many conflicting ideas and no budget by comparison to the ideas. We've got budget, but not compared to the ideas that these girls have got. So we're trying to teach them that around, okay, well, we can do this for 5 days, but then let's swing across here, try to save a little bit more money, and then we can go and spend a lot more at that adventure or that hotel or that resort, and so
all of those things, are great things to communicate around, for sure.
Yeah, amazing.
My kids have got their first little FPOS cards. I know we've talked about this, and it's linked to a CommBank app kit, and so they have to do chores to get money or whatever. And we'd put money in it without making them do the chores. So my husband was away last weekend, and I was like, so we're going to clean the house. Who wants to vacuum upstairs, downstairs, bathrooms? And I was like, and then money will go in the card. And I'm like, we're on.
Well done.
It started. Who wants to fold the socks? No one likes the socks.
So my Maddie's already gamified us. So she'll call Sim and say, hey, can you put some money on my, it's a different account. Can you put some money on my lunchbox, on my tuck shop debit card? Because the school has a specific account so that I can only use it at the school. And then she'll call me and go, Dad, I'm going to Yochi after school with my friends. Can you put $5 on? Who are you going with, Maddie? I'm going with this one. I go, how much is a Yochi? How much is it? And she goes, mine will be $7. Okay, well, you're going with 3 friends, so I'll put how much on? And she calculates. I go, okay, just make sure you shout your friends there their Yochi. So
And
we've
no
got
one
them.
gets too greedy, because otherwise how are we going to pay for that?
Well, yeah, the card's going to decline because there's only $21 on the account.
I did that to the kids. I gave them physical cash last week.
What's this?
Yeah,
Right.
it was scary because they knew they were going to walk down and get their ice creams. We got Yo My Goodness where we are.
Right.
And I was like, be careful, because you only have this physical cash. It doesn't go further.
Yeah.
So if you fill up too much, you're going to be arrested.
Yeah.
Or you're going to be in the kitchen.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
look out. So they were so careful. They put like out of the $20, $15 or something. They were terrified.
Yeah, I get the calls. I get the decline because I don't have a CommBank, but I have Spriggy.
Oh, yes.
Which is an
Yeah.
amazing product.
Yeah.
Probably the same, but
Yeah.
this is our world Spriggy.
And Spriggy Invest as well.
Pardon?
Spriggy Invest as well.
What does that do?
Well, essentially, it's an extension of Spriggy that allows you
Oh.
to teach the kids about investment.
Saving. Yeah, wow.
Investment.
Cool.
Oh, investment.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, I need to
Yeah.
get that module unlocked.
Yeah.
But I get the decline.
Oh,
And then I go 3, 2, 1, phone rings.
Yes.
Dad,
Yes.
how much do you need? Amazing. And so, I found that event that you held very insightful. I flicked on the PDF to my mum, who's going to come have a chat with you. I've also got a few of my family members that you're already engaged with to speak. And I'm actually going to put this podcast under my sister's or in my sister's ears, because I think, I don't know what they're doing. I don't know what they've got, what they've not got. They've got big families, but
Well, it often takes one person within a family to be the instigator, to be the
Yeah.
lead,
Yeah.
to rally the family together, and but ultimately it's sort of communicating the why, like why are we doing this?
yeah.
And helping families become great families, or great families stay great families, and a lot of that comes back to vision and communication.
Yeah.
Getting people together on a regular basis, and like you're running a great business.
Totally.
The concept of running family wealth as a family office does, or even if you don't actually build or run a family office, the same concepts apply to sort of any level of wealth, really.
I saw an update. I'm an investor through my fund, through my self-managed super fund in Dave Cowan's Mosaic, and they posted an amazing update. I've been really wrapped with the investment in that. I can't touch it, so I just go, Dave, just roll it over. And I've got some great compounding there. I want to try add some more to it if I can, but got that investor update video and flick that around to the whole family. Go, guys, let me know if you want me to make an introduction here, because you guys. Mosaic is one of the buckets you would put some money into if you were managing a family's portfolio, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it really depends on the family as well.
Right.
One of the really important things about investment is to define the investment philosophy and the framework for the family. So that when you do then invest, you've actually got a strategy around what you're investing into and why.
Yep.
So that's a really important part of the process, whether you're an ultra high net worth family or not. Having a process around what actually aligns to the family's objectives, but not just the levels of return or risk that they wish to take, but also their philosophy. Often there's, the rise of ESG investing and impact investing is pretty prominent these days. But also there's a whole range of other things to think about within an investment portfolio that will determine whether you choose certain types of investments or not.
Yeah, amazing. Guys, we're going to go to an ad break. I'm going to link all of Adam on his LinkedIn, as well as Quarter Five's details in the show notes below. So if you've enjoyed this segment, firstly, give it a thumbs up. I don't know if that is true, but depending on what platform, give us a like or put a review in. But I'm going to put Adam's details and Quarter Five's details in the show notes below. And you can learn more about Adam, what he's doing, how he's doing it, and hopefully he can help you and your family along the journey. Adam, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
Kate.
Guys, we're
Thank
going
you,
to
Toby.
hear from Luna. Weareluna.co is a great place for you and your business to start off with phenomenal accounting and legal services. So if you're a startup or a scale-up looking for legal and finance support, or alternatively looking to raise capital, Weareluna.co is where you need to be starting off. Kate, What a legend.
Yeah, so good. And
Yeah.
that concept as well of being the custodians, and it's amazing.
Well,
Yeah.
you know, you and I, we're working pretty hard, right? We're
Yeah.
trying to build businesses, but really we're trying to build legacy.
Yes.
I love walking down the street, holding my kids' hands. Maddie won't hold my hand, Harper will. And people stop me and go, dude, I was just at your place. I have no idea who these people are, but
Yeah.
I was just at your place. I heard you on the pod. I watched you on the vlog. I did this. I said that. Dude, like you inspired me or something. And then I'll walk off and my kids are like, Dad, who is that? I have no idea. Yeah. And so that's part of legacy. But hopefully you and I get to a position whereby we're actually leaving something for them.
Yes.
And I want to share in that success with them.
Yeah.
And so I absolutely will be turning to Adam to help me figure out how.
I love how you asked Adam about, like, how do you do that? How do you get the kids involved in the vision? But you're already doing it.
Yeah,
your
I didn't
kids are
realise.
here
Yeah.
with you and Sim a lot of the time. They've travelled with you. You took one of your daughters to Sydney, and I've realised that with my kids as well, they actually copy what you do, not what you say. So I remember one night I said to Mia, why have you got your iPad on in your room? You're supposed to be asleep. And she goes, oh, no, I'm prepping for tomorrow, Mum. And I said, what do you mean? And she goes, oh, I'm just listening to the motivational thing about running because I've got cross country. And she's listening to some motivational thing so she'll go better in cross country. I was like, okay,
She's learning by
you
example,
can
right?
listen to that then.
Yeah.
I had no idea what she was doing with the iPad in her room. So
It's amazing. And I've got Adam working with a couple of people that I know that are near and dear to me. And, you know, I've had the benefit of being able to download with him and have him listen and steer and advise. So I'm looking forward to having bags of money to be able to go back to him and say, all right, now what do I do?
yeah, so good. Getting the right advice, right people.
That's it. All right, Kate, thank you for your time. I'll see you next week.
See you then.
Thanks, guys.